You let me violate you.
Spanning 3 decades, Martin Scorsese's 1990 mob magnum opus Goodfellas tells the story of Henry Hill, who idolises the gangster lifestyle in Brooklyn as a teenager and grows up to become one of them, a good fella, as alluded to in the title. Henry is taken under the wing of Paulie Cicero, Paul Sorvino, and especially his associates, Jimmy the Gent Conway, played by Robert De Niro, and Tommy DeVito, Joe Pesci, an aggressive armed robber with a very short fuse. The plot follows the rise and fall of these 3 protagonists, from small-time truck hijackings to gigantic heists from the late 1960s to the end of the decadent 1980s. In the lead role, Ray Liotta is given his first starring role, no mean feat considering the weight given to a Martin Scorsese picture, but is also given solid support by De Niro and especially Joe Pesci, who took home the film's sole Academy Award from 6 nominations. A somewhat prescient Scorsese fills out the minor roles with names that would become big in their own right, with appearances by Samuel L. Jackson, Debbie Mazar, Ileana Douglas, Vincent Gallo, or Vinnie Gallo as it's listed in the credits, Tobin Bell, who went on to become Jigsaw from the Saw franchise, and Isaiah Whitlock Jr., later to be known as Senator Clay Davis from HBO's The Wire. Scorsese even casts his own mother and father in the film. Regarded now as a classic gangster film, for mine, Goodfellas is technically brilliant, but really lacks a heart, in so much as there is no one to really relate to, let alone feel sympathy for. So, possibly a controversial view there on Goodfellas?
That is a controversial view.
Animal Kingdom, which is very similar. It's set at a different time period, the 80s. It's about a crime family. But there was a character in there that the audience can relate to, can hold on to. And I found with Goodfellas, I thought, I love the technical stuff. Like, technically, it is absolutely sensational.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I grabbed most of my entertainment from the film.
Yeah.
But as for the story, and especially the almost glib, which I do concede makes a point, but it's almost a glib ending. And you thought, well, has anyone really learned anything in all this?
Yeah, I don't really, given that it's a true story, I don't think Henry Hill really learnt anything, about anything, really, because at the premiere of the film, he went around telling, he was in the witness protection program, and he went around telling everyone he was Henry Hill. And the FBI kicked him out of the witness protection program after that.
Well, he didn't write the book, did he?
No, but
it was written by Nicholas Pileggi, and he contributed to the screenplay with Scorsese, but it is a true story, I think that every name except his has been changed.
Yeah. Goodfellas to me, it's so Scorsese, like having his parents, he does that.
Making pasta.
Yeah, and his mother's a great actress,
she is. Just very natural,
She's great. I mean, the film, it's this roller coaster ride, because you become used to that sort of after Casino, and you become quite used to that, a combination of Pesci and De Niro and, Liotta's in this one.
And a few other familiar faces in there.
Yeah. It's really hard to kind of pin down. I know what you're saying, in regards to not having one person to, cling on to. You feel for Lorraine Bracco at certain times, like Henry's wife, but then you don't. And so, I mean, it's real life. I think it's kind of gutsy, and it's not a Hollywood film.
No, it certainly doesn't pull its punches.
No
way at all. I'll certainly give it that. I don't know. I was actually kind of glad that Dances with Wolves took out the Best Picture that year, because I love that film.
Yep.
And a lot of people, there was a bit of conjecture. I think Harvey Keitel was quoted after that year's Academy Awards. He was asked, "What did you think about Goodfellas or Martin Scorsese losing again?" And he said, "Oh well, Marty got what he deserved. Exclusion from mediocrity." So great quote, but at the same time, I mean, it's up there in IMDb's top 50, top 250.
It has won so many. I mean,
heaps.
It was voted #1 in Total Film's 100 Greatest Movie of All Time list.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Crikey Moses.
That was in
That's surprising.
2005. Could have been changed by now.
I mean, it does. There's a lot of weight given to it as a touchstone of cinema, and as on a technical side, I don't have a problem with that.
No, it pumps along.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and you never.
It's 2.5 hours or something, and it just kicks along.
Before I saw this film, my experience of Joe Pesci, I came late to the game with the Get Gangster films. So my experience of Joe Pesci was in things like The Super and My Cousin Vinny. So when I saw this film, when I saw little Joe Pesci at the beginning, it opens, it's quite violent.
No, we should point that out. It's very violent.
Very violent.
Like I said, it doesn't pull punches on the violence.
No, I mean, I rewatched it on a Sunday morning, thinking, I should give Goodfellas another 1, 2, 1, 2. Just remember Joe Pesci's so violent.
Yeah, he is.
He's unpredictable, and so therefore he's inherently watchable.
Thoroughly deserved the Academy Award for that performance.
Oh yeah, just like a loose cannon. Even watching him in the film, I feel unsettled because I don't know what he's going to do next, which is great.
I agree.
And Ray Liotta actually had to convince the powers that be to give him the role. Right. They didn't want to cast him.
Well, he was unknown. He was pretty much an unknown.
Yeah, and so he had to work for him. I think after he had a conversation with Wolfgang Peterson, said yes. Okay, we have to put him in this.
Well, he was a made man after this film.
Oh,
basically.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. He was a made man.
Okay, that's wise guys speak. Watch the film.
Well, he really was, and he sort of built a career from this movie on. And
then did Karina. You were kind of like, really? Sorry.
Whoopi was into him, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's an incredible amount of responsibility for a relative unknown to take on the lead role in a Martin Scorsese picture, and he does it very well.
He does it very. He goes on this really lovely journey actually throughout the film.
Yeah.
I mean, you see him from the time that he's a teenager, and obviously that's not Ray Liotta playing that role. But yeah, I think you see him kind of lose his humanity to a degree.
It certainly starts that way because
he's become quite cold.
If it wasn't for the narration, you wouldn't really be let in on Henry Hill.
Yeah.
What's really going on there with him, and that did help. But at the same time, like I said, with that glib ending, I thought, you've sort of gone on a journey, and all this stuff's happened in between, but you haven't really.
Because I loved the ending. No. I loved the ending for the fact that it was that.
Okay.
That you've gone on this absolute roller coaster ride of violence and mayhem, but it's terrible because it kind of makes crime at times a little bit fun. When they're getting away with stuff and you're like, woo, and like he gets busted for the first time and they're like, you popped your cherry.
Yeah, that's right. They're all having a party.
Yeah, party.
You got nicked for the first time. Well done.
I don't know. I was a roller because I love it. I love that about it.
Okay.
Yeah, that it's not kind of, not what you expect.
All right. Well, it wasn't all that for me, but technically can't be faulted. And the soundtrack, I should point out, the soundtrack was sensational. There must be about 3 CDs worth of music on there, if not more. So I will give it 7 out of 10 nails.
I'm going to give it 8.
I say, that my wife 2 times me? So she says to him, shut up, you're always talking. But in Italian, it sounds much nicer,
Yeah,
that's it.
What's that mean? Nude means he's content to be a jerk. And he doesn't care who knows it, he's content.
Did Tom ever tell you about my painting?
No.
Look at this.
It's beautiful. I like this one. One dog goes one way and the other dog goes the other way.
One is going east and the other one is going west, so what?
And this guy's saying, what do you want from me? Guy's got a nice head of white hair. Look how beautiful with the dog. It looks the same.
Looks like somebody we know.
I mean, without the beard. No, it's him. Oh, it's him. Holy.
Okay, now that's another show done and dusted. So we would like to tell you all that we are going to open up the Nailing Flicks universe to you by giving you an email address, nailingflicks@gmail.com.
.com. Let me do it.
Yeah.
Nailingflicks@gmail.com. Gers is having issues today.
Thank you. Where you can, email through your requests for us to review your films, your favourite films, your worst films, whatever you like. Just send us some names of films that we will review for you, and you will get a shout out on the show from us. But that's it from Ellie, and that's it from me, Gers, and we'll see you next time. Nailing Flicks. Bye bye.